So, what I just learned is that being on a hammock is actually a trusting exercise. I was on a hammock for the very first time for my 28th birthday, I think, in Miami. And I busted my ass crazy. I think I even have a picture. Ooh, it's beautiful to see that I've come a long way. When I prepared for this video, I was about to do my makeup and get really cute. But I'm really teaching myself in this chapter to be more present and to not really think about the perfection of things, and just really understand what I'm learning within the process of things. Like, I think sometimes when you're so fixated on the aesthetic of things, you move way too fast and you don't really understand the value in why you're here and why this is happening to you at this present time. So I'm trying to just embrace the urge to create and to not like focus on like how everything is going to come together. I'm currently at my client's house and I'm cat sitting, and it's really, really nice. Her cat, he's actually walking around somewhere here. I took some pictures of him like walking around, and I'm just like, yo, this is actually crazy, because when I first started doing this, I would have never thought I'd be sleeping at people's houses and taking care of their pets. I never thought I'd become a cat mom. Like, there's a lot of things that I never thought, and I think all of the things that has came into fruition came from me trusting the process and just allowing myself to live through it instead of going through it. Because let me tell you something, I've been through it. Since the pandemic, it has been a battle. I feel like I went to war. I went to war with myself. I went to war with my family. I went to war with love. And, you know, not in a way where I had to deal with the trials and tribulations that people be talking about in their relationship. Because just say he's cheating, okay? Like, just get to the point. It wasn't nothing like that. It was more so just like I was just going through life, really defining who I am as a person. And it happened kind of overnight because I write a lot. So when you write, and this is the beauty of writing, you're hearing yourself. Sometimes it's intimidated to say things out loud, but when you write, it's so set in stone, and it's so like, it's just so real. It makes things so real. It brings things to fruition. It connects your mind to the paper. It connects your mind to your reality. And, I started my blog. I continue to journal. I've been journaling since I was little. Fun fact, but not super fun, I had my journal read in front of my whole, seventh grade class? My personal journal was read in front of my whole class. So I've always been, exposed to express myself, against my will sometimes. And and, it's really interesting how everything just, when you're living through it and, in the moment you might be embarrassed, or you might be like, oh shit, like this is happening. Everything's happening so fast. Like, I'm so exposed. I feel like I've been going through exposure therapy since I was born, since I came out the womb. It was just like, so it really does build character, and it allows you to realize your strength. So when it comes to different elements or eras, as you like to say, in life, you really just have to grow through it and live through it and really live. Like, don't suppress the opportunities to go out, make new friends, try new restaurants. Like, I discovered that I love pistachio. I discovered that I love gay clubs rather than hetero clubs, for sure. Like, me and my cousin went out the other night and we had a ball. We went to this place called Dembella in Brooklyn, and it was real cute. I love there. I discovered that I like Saint Germain and Coke. If you haven't tried it, please try it. That shit is mad good. It's so good that I'm actually adding it to one of my signature drinks at my wedding. Okay, and we'll talk about that in a few. But, it's just so interesting because it's like when you stop thinking about people that hurt you, you realize how beautiful life is. And I really needed that. Like, I thank God for the pandemic for that, for just slowing me down to realize, bitch, you can create this whole shit, everything you've been writing about, everything you've been thinking about, everything you've been dreaming about. Like, you don't have to sit here and tolerate anything from anybody. Friends, men, jobs, family, clothes, hair. You don't have to tolerate nothing. You can do whatever you want. You understand? So, within the process of like living through it, I moved back to the East Coast. So now I'm in Jersey. I lived in Jersey in my early 20s, but for a very short period of time. And moving back is very nostalgic because I think the environment that I'm in now is way more elevated than it was when I first moved here. Like, I feel like they've developed it really nice. And, other than that, I think, just like really just doing the shit that you say you're going to do is really powerful. I truly believe in that. I find that even sometimes for me, when, I hear people say they want to do stuff and they don't do it, I just kind of, I used to have this tendency of like forcing them to do it, like holding them accountable in every conversation and like bringing it up and asking them their progress. But I realized I was like parentifying them. And it really took away from me. I've realized I was so anxious because I was constantly parentifying friends and family as well. And it's very exhausting being that person, always feeling the need to, be the bigger person or be the person that is thinking outside of the box, being the person that is trying to help people, develop their thoughts, really, their businesses, their ideas, their dreams. I realized that something that God has given me is not for everyone. And the things that I want to do, the things I want to create, the people I want to meet, the experiences I want to fulfill, the clients that I want to take care of, like, those things are coming from my desire. They're not coming from other people, expecting that from me. I wake up every day and I'm like, this is what I want for myself. And I feel like that is a personal gift. Sometimes people have those gifts and they ignore them. And I think it's important to allow people to grow through it and not force them to see their potential. I think potential is a horrible word. I think it's a wasted word. I think they need to take it out of the dictionary because it really does nothing. Yeah, waste of time. Other than that, I'm really thankful for how I've dealt with, the process of, marriage and getting my wedding together. Like, I'm not even gonna lie, I have been crashing out behind the scenes, really like compartmentalizing, and not because of my partner. More so like when you ask people for help and you realize that people do things so differently and then they have their own ideas and they want you to do things their way, and they don't have the greatest communication skills. Like, to this day, what date is it? It is September 3rd. My wedding is in 30 days at this point. My dress that I was supposed to get done isn't done. Hasn't even been established. So I went ahead on Nordstrom and just picked up another dress. It is what it is. The person that's designing the dress, they said they're going to make a party dress, and I'll leave it at that. But the original dress that I wanted is not going to be done. So, I think a lot of pivoting really allows you to keep your mental health together because nothing is that serious. But I think also, like, if nothing is serious, then, like, what do you really value? But I think for me, like, to answer my own question, and this can also help you with perspective, is you can value peace. Like, you don't have to value you don't have to value perfectionism. See, I'm fucking up when I'm saying it, but you don't have to value that. Whatever I just said, perfectionism. Like, you don't have to value the things that makes you look perfect. Sometimes the edginess and the last minuteness can really bring forth something beautiful. See, I'm fucking up as I'm talking about perfectionism. And that's God. I don't have to be the perfect bride, but I could be a beautiful bride. I could be a sexy bride. And those are things that I can bring together myself. I don't necessarily have to rely on one element of my wedding in order to have this perfect day. Like the day doesn't change if I have a different dress. So I found this really cute dress though, really, really cute. Very similar to the design that I wanted. I found these super cute shoes from Jeffrey Campbell. Super, super cute. I'm gonna wear the shoes to the courthouse, and I'm also gonna wear the shoes for my dance, um, my second dress that I'm gonna wear to the dinner. So I'm doing a courthouse, and then a week later, I'm doing a dinner with family and friends. Super cute. Um, but yeah, like it's simple. Like it shouldn't even be that serious. Like women like Charlie XCX really inspire me because yeah, I get it. You know, I watch a lot of content about like weddings and like how everyone just goes out of their way to make sure their guest is having this amazing time and they get the best DJ and the best bartender and the best venue and you know they're flying out to France and this stuff blah blah blah. Like all of these things are great, right? But I also think it's very stressful and it's very overwhelming when you're constantly thinking about the optics versus the peace. Like I really value peace and I value clarity. So I definitely was not having a destination wedding. I don't think I'll survive, to be honest. Um, a lot of the behind the scene takes will be in front of the scenes. If you leave it up to me to have a destination wedding, that's crazy. You know, so I just kept things really simple. I found a spot in Brooklyn. It's a very rustic vibe, super cute and we're expecting about 100 people, so I think that's very overwhelming. But yeah, everything was very budget friendly. We're not doing real flowers, but we are doing a bloom wall, which is like a flower wall, and that will consist of real flowers. I'm also throwing the bouquet that will consist of real flowers. So, you know, there's a lot of things that I think are important, like the food, the DJ. I'm super big on music, but nails, hair, not that serious. But I will be doing this ginger look because I do like it. So yeah, like certain things you can tweak as a bride, but like it doesn't have to be that fucking serious. Like I think people be stressing themselves out over just showing up to an event to kiss your man and dance with your friends and family. Like, when you really think about it, that's what it is. Um, but I'm very big on cakes. So I got a lavender cake. And that is the dream to have a lavender wedding cake. So it better be good because it was about $700. Okay. Um, certain things are very pricey, but that included delivery and they'll set it up and stuff like that. So I'm just happy that I got a lot of things out of the way and yeah, I'm really excited. So hopefully everything goes well. But yeah, I'm learning to, you know, just celebrate more. So I'm really excited for this opportunity to celebrate, you know, meet my fiance's family because there's a lot of family that's flying in from Trinidad. And yeah, I really think it's gonna be one for the books. So I'm really excited. But other than that, I feel like work has been going really well. You know, I've been getting a lot of like dog and cat clients, and most of my clients live in the North Jersey area. You know, I think at first I was like, are people going to try to book me from New York? But I think realistically speaking, with the travel fee and all of that, they're like, absolutely not. Um, but yeah, I'm really excited for this year. I think things are moving forward. And, you know, moving back really gave me a new perspective on life because I think Texas was just slowing me down and really just making me feel very stagnant. Um, yeah, I really have learned that I thrive in certain elements or in certain areas of the world. Like certain areas just doesn't do me justice, and I feel like Texas is one of them. So I had to go. I actually have a friend from Texas that recently moved to London because she just needed to get the fuck as well. So I just think it's important to just learn yourself and understand that, you know, life is constantly moving. So you have to do the same. You have to continuously move forward mentally as well, and not think that things are going to stay as is. Like you have to think about what's to come and, you know, but also trust the process. It's like you can foresee things, but it's not set in stone, but also just keep an open mind when it comes to things that, you know, are new to you, because you just never know. And even things that are not new to you, keep an open mind, because even in pet care, like today I met another pet sitter because she's actually taking over for me when I go to Philly this weekend. She, she was telling me about like the dog leashes, and she was talking about like the fact that she has like so many different clients, and we were just having a girl to girl conversation about pet care, and it was really nice. And I learned something. Like I learned a few things. So it's really exciting meeting new people and like learning something new, because you realize that you don't know everything. And yeah, I'm always a student. So cheers to that. But this summer has been equally fast and slow. Like I think I've been booked every day, pretty much like every day. And I've also been really content with not like forcing like friendships, or like forcing like, having this big thing. Like even for my birthday, like for the past few years, my birthday has been pretty consistent in like being very simple. And it's because like I'm lying. I went to St. Lucia for my birthday 2 years ago, like I said, or 3 years ago, maybe at this point. But for the most part, I spend my birthdays with my partner. Like I turned 30 this year. It was really simple. We went to Dumbella, the same club that I went to the other day with my cousin. And it was nice, to be honest, Sometimes I think about like, oh, like what if I had like a friend group? And I'm like, bitch, you do not want that. Like it is okay to not have a friend group in your 20s and your 30s. Like I think it's sometimes more hectic when you are constantly looking for that versus you organically have that. So because I don't have that, but I do have a lot of different friends that, I connect with from time to time. And, like even this weekend, I'm going to hang out with a friend and we're going to a party. So I have a lot of friends in different places, but I don't have that sense of like codependency, because that's what friend groups are. And that works for me because I'm just an individual. And I think when you're an individual, you really understand the benefits of like being alone, processing your thoughts, emotionally regulating, understanding, when to detach. Like you don't have attachment issues. You don't have friendship drama. You don't have, you know, people like expecting you to be this person that you're not. Like I think when you're an individual, like people admire that and they're almost like curious on how to deal with you, versus they're like, oh, it's cool. Like I feel like when you're in a friend group, people are just very like insensitive. That from my experience, like there's no intimacy, so they don't really know how to navigate dealing with you in a healthy way. But I could be wrong. That's just based on my experiences. And so I think when it comes to, just celebrating birthdays or celebrating events, like you could do things in groups. Like I'm having my bachelorette coming up in a few weeks, and we're doing a party bus, we're doing dinner. And, I've changed the dinner around because I'm like, my friends cannot afford these expensive ass restaurants, no shade, but like, I just don't think it's realistic for me to be like, oh yeah, girl, like come to this restaurant, it's $100 per person. Like that's not light money, you understand? I would spend it for the experience, but I definitely know that everyone is not on that. So I'm like, let's do hibachi. And then we'll pregame, and then we'll be drinking on the party bus, which would be the next thing. And then if we're up for it, we'll go to the club, or we might go to the club the following day. But it's going to be a full weekend. And then we're going to end the weekend on Sunday with the wedding dinner with family and friends. So I think everything just works out because I'm planning it that way. And I'm very considerate of the people that's around me, because there's people that's flying in. Like there's a lot of things to consider. And that's what I'm saying. Like there's a sense of consideration when you're an individual versus, you're in a friend group and everybody just has like shared thoughts. Like you don't really have like the individualistic thoughts, or you don't have the ability to think outside of yourself. That's neither here nor there. I'm not even gonna lie, this hammock is actually very comfortable. Oh my goodness, look at the kitty. Hold on, I'm actually gonna record him so I could insert a video. But yeah, life's great. I genuinely don't have issues. I think when it comes to conflict or, little inconveniences, yes, I'm human. But in terms of issues, like deep-rooted issues, I've genuinely just detached myself from those spaces because I'm just too smart to have to deal with the same stupid things. That's really what it comes down to. So I really thank God for all of the things that he's filled my time with. Because, man, sometimes when you don't have balance in your life, you just stay in chaos. You really just stay in chaos. You don't understand that there's elements of life that are very peaceful, and you're actually choosing the most chaotic situation. Like, when people be like, what's the worst case scenario? Like, some people live in worst case scenarios. Like, and I was that person at one point. So, like, when I come across people like that, I genuinely am like, I want you to figure that out, because if I give you the steps on how to get to the best case scenario, you're going to think that I'm being a bitch, maybe a little elitist, maybe a little controversial, maybe a little forceful. Like, I might be all the isms by the end of the conversation. So I think it's important to just, like, allow people to find, I'm finding it.
Be nice.
I'm finding it.
It take you that long to find it?
It does.
Because if you're finding it, you're getting to it, and you're getting to it on your own pace, on your own frequency, and I'm not forcing you to be something that you're not. That's really what it comes down to. So yeah, life is peaceful, and that's how it's supposed to be. I'm super excited for my wedding. I'm super excited to move forward with my business, the collaborations that are coming to me, and to just be in a space to share more, because I do want to document the elements of life that are beautiful. I think, a lot of times, like I said, living in chaos, you can only understand and express the chaos because that's all you know. But I'm no longer in that space, and I'm no longer allowing people in my space that bring that. Okay? So that's truly what changed my life. And obviously God and my partner's amazing, and my community that has been around me, surrounding me, reading, watching a lot of videos, seeing people live their life is all inspiring me to just be happy. Why the fuck am I not happy? There's no reason why I'm not happy. So yeah,